Hey, yo,
Was Annan.
we back, man. We back. We're remote today. Episode, what are we, 40, 44
44.
of the Who Effing Knows podcast. A little different. Like I said, remote. We have a person for 44. You just want to go like Super Bowl edition.
It is Super Bowl edition. I was gonna say Mike Carney.
Mike Carney, not a bad one.
I didn't say it because I was waiting to see who you said, and I wanted to see if we were on the same page.
Good
But
old
Super Bowl
fullback.
edition works.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
good old
Super Bowl
fullback.
edition
Didn't he,
works.
didn't he score? Didn't he score like two or three touchdowns in one game against Dallas one year? Or was it four? He like went off.
Yeah, it definitely was two or three. I don't know if he got the four or not.
I'm gonna say it was
Yeah, I
four
remember that
because
game.
four for 44. Fuck it. Um,
44 episodes. We're less than 10 away from a year.
yeah, we getting there. What are we gonna do for our 1 year anniversary?
I
We gotta
don't
do
know. I
something.
feel like we should do something special.
Yeah, we'll
Hmm.
figure it out. I don't know. Maybe we'll fucking, I don't know, karaoke or something. Um, you got a fun fact? I got a fun fact. You want to hear it?
Go ahead. Always. I always want the fun facts. I do last week's. I don't know this week's.
Do you want a real fun fact? Do you want what I was actually gonna say? Because I have a real
Oh
fun.
no, give me both. Give me
All
both.
right. So what I was gonna say, fun fact, Zion is out in them streets. Can we just talk about that for a second?
Yes,
This
he
man,
is.
this man is in the streets. Like what, what is going on? Give me
You
your
had that
thoughts.
you had that on your Pels bingo card?
I did not. That was not on my Pels bingo card. I had a lot of things that could happen this offseason. That was not one of them. Not even
So
close.
we got a new chick 3 days in a row. Do we go 4 for 4 tomorrow?
We might. Another
I'm
one.
kind of pulling.
The jokes
At
are
this
writing
point, it's like
themselves.
right. At this point, it's like I don't even care. Let them keep coming out.
It is what it is, man. Like, listen, I think I tweeted this. Like, I'm not gonna judge anyone for what they do in their personal life. Now, granted, there are some things you can do in your personal life that people may want to judge. This is kind of navigating that territory. Um, But but man, you know what it looks like to me? I was thinking this earlier. I think you and I think the same way because I saw a tweet of yours and it was like I noticed it after I tweeted, but it came out like right before mine. That first girl is really giving the vibe of like Zion was hooking up with a couple girls, he gets one pregnant, and she's just salty as hell about it. Like she has tweeted nonstop at him for what is it like 36 hours now? Just one after the other, like bang, 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 bang for like
Oh yeah,
every
yeah.
20 minutes.
She's she's emotional tweeting for sure.
She tweeting
I
through
mean,
it. She's going through the
yeah. I mean,
stages of
hey,
grief in front
do
of our
do what you
eyes.
got to do. You know. Yeah. Yesterday they felt a little more calculated. Today it's just like
You know
she
what
just
kills me?
attacking him.
What kills me here's so yes, today she's attacking him. What kills me is yesterday she's like, I'll wait for you, get a DNA test. If it's not yours, I'll still be here for you. You're my baby, blah, blah, blah. And today she's like, your dick was whack. You sweat in bed. I hate sleeping next to you. You're fat as fuck. It's like, damn,
Sweating
like
bit.
what? Hold on. Wait a minute. How'd it get so mean? And that's when I started seeing those. I was like, how did we get here? Like I get it. I get being upset about it because you probably should. But yeah, it's wild. And it's entertaining. I'll give you
It
that
isn't.
much.
It is. I'm glad it's happening now and not while the season's going on.
Right. Because we can forget about it once he comes back and he's healthy.
Oh, we ain't forgetting
We,
this.
we forgot about
we
Jamal
ain't.
Murray. We forgot
I don't
about
think we.
there's a
Yeah,
lot of
but I don't think
things.
we've seen. I don't think we've seen the end of this.
Mm.
if there, listen. If there's three, there's four.
Oh, there's
You know what I
probably
mean?
four. There's probably more than four. If we could be real, just based on the evidence we've seen so far and the track record in this small window, I mean, he had two of the girls at the same game. Two from the same game. What are we doing?
this man, this man was he was. I don't know. He obviously doesn't have a lot of experience in this area, right? Granted, he's only 22, but
Yeah.
he's not playing the game very well.
Or he's playing it too well. Um, Look, he's young, he's got money, and he is living at a whole nother level than a lot of other people could. There's probably a lot of people out there that wish they could live the way Zion's living. That's not me. I'll be honest with you. Not in that facet. Um, maybe other areas, but like He's just doing things you could never imagine. He's talking to this girl about flying her here. He's flying another. He's flying out like two girls each game. Like, what are we doing?
I saw a lot of people say actually, the fact that he's willing to move him here is the most commitment he could possibly show to the team.
He's buying houses here. Let's go. I'm not gonna lie. Like recently, I've been seeing. It was before the baby announcement. It was before all this, but it was like Zion's house shopping, and I was like, "Oh, that's great. He's committed to the city." No, he was probably buying that girl a house. Is what was happening. This this man, I
What a
don't even
time
know.
to be alive.
I don't even know. You know, it was Twitter's fun, man. I'll give it that. Twitter has some jokes. They crack me up. Shit, what was it? Somebody said, this the loudest the 10th man on the roster's talked since Jared Dudley. That one killed me. Killed me. I was like, oh man, this all right. I'm a,
Definitely peak Twitter day. It
I'm
was
gonna
fun.
yeah. I'm gonna pray for these women. I pray they find someone, maybe Zion, I don't know. But
But hey, congrats to Zion on being a dad.
yeah, yeah. Salute. Was it a girl or a boy? I don't even remember. They had a whole
It's
announcement.
a girl. He's gonna be a girl dad.
Girl dad, let's go. Come join the train. I mean, I have a boy and a girl, but you know. Yeah, it's fun, man. I don't know. I had to bring it up. I had to bring it up. What was my fun fact? I had an actual fun fact. I don't know what I did with it. We'll have to get back to that later. What you got? You got anything? I got other shit, but
Uh, I got one thing. So, did you see that? I'm sure you did because somebody tagged both of us in it. That HBO is doing their Barry Bonds like Last Dance
mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
What athlete would you want a Last Dance documentary on? If you
Mm.
could have any of them, I'll be honest with you. I couldn't. I had trouble coming up with one. I was trying to think of like a lesser
Yeah.
known person, like a Griffey one would be tight, just because it's like my favorite player. But I'm trying to think of somebody who would have like a cool. Oh, you got one? Give it to
I
me.
got one. It came to my mind, and you already saw some of it in The Last Dance. I want Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman. I want the life story. Give me it all. Give me just a biography from the time he was drafted. I want the lows because he had some lows. I want the highs. I want to hear about all the girls. I want it all. I want the trip to Vegas in the middle of the NBA
That's
playoffs.
a that's a good one. Allen Iverson, I think would be a fun one too.
Yeah,
Would be
that'd be a
cool.
good one.
That's what I'm trying to think. I want somebody that's had like some off the court or off the field stuff, right? Trying to think of somebody in football, but I don't even know who
Mike Vick.
like yeah, that'd be a good one.
Be
Be a good
interesting.
one.
It'd be a little deep for some folks, maybe a little rough for some folks, I think, but I think it'd be interesting.
Did he have a 30 for 30? I don't
I
know if
don't
he did.
know. They didn't they do the one on I don't know. I haven't seen them
You
all.
know, he had a football life. I don't know if he had a 30 for 30. But I mean, if we're doing Last Dance, that's a whole series. That's not just an hour thing, right?
Right.
Like, yeah. I just wonder if I was trying to think of a few, and I had trouble coming up with one. But Dennis Rodman's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I actually, you know what? You could even give me. I'd even take like a Scottie Pippen just to get the same story, but from his
The
perspective.
opposite side. Man.
Yeah,
You know what though? But then he's still just riding Jordan's coattails. Like let's do our
that's
own
right.
thing. I mean, his
That's
damn
right.
wife is like dating Jordan's son. Like what are we doing?
Yeah, that's true.
How do we Scottie
uh,
Pippen's got to wake up every morning and say, "How the fuck do I just get away from this man? How do I get away from MJ? I can't stand it. I can't deal with it anymore."
well, he doesn't do himself any favors, right? Because he kind of shits on MJ any chance he gets.
He's probably jealous
But
as fuck. He's probably hating on this man
yeah,
every chance.
yeah, but you're never gonna get out from under Mike if you don't stop talking about him. Like anytime you say anything negative about him, they're gonna be like, "Well, he carried you to 6 rings," right? Like you just gotta be like, "Shut up." I don't know.
I gotta give Scotty his flowers though. I don't know if MJ carried him to anything. I mean, Scotty was a dog, but
That's what people say. Like you know how Michael's got stands.
mhm.
That's the response, right?
Oh, for sure.
I don't feel that way.
We don't have to go down that rabbit hole, but stands
No,
have to be the
no.
worst thing that ever happened to sports in general, right? Like, got to be.
Oh yeah,
They
dude.
put you on like
Like
you get and you can get lumped in so easy, man. I became a Taysom Hill stan randomly. I don't even like Taysom Hill like that. But like I became a Taysom Hill stan because people were hating on him so hard. I was like, wait. He ain't that bad. Like
you can't defend nobody. If you defend somebody, you're a stand. And if you oppose somebody for or not even oppose them, just say one negative thing about them. Like when we had the Lonzo stands, if you pointed out any fact that wasn't a good fact about Lonzo,
That was tough.
they were all over you.
It was tough. And
Right
the
now it's the
stands,
right now
this
we deal with the BI stands.
I love BI though. I'm fine with that.
Me
Like
too.
I just ignore
Me
the
too,
BI
but
stands. The problem
me too,
is
but I can't I don't know.
the Lonzo stands would take it so far that you would end up hating Lonzo because of it. And it's like, bro, like he's an okay player. Like I like him a little bit. Like, but I don't love him the way you love him. You know, we have slightly different opinions and still root for the guy.
Yeah,
I don't hate him because, you know, I don't think he's the next coming.
we were getting awfully close to the Jameis stands being that way. It didn't
Exactly.
quite get to that. It didn't get to that level for me, but it was getting close.
Yeah.
The thing with Jameis is though the non Jameis stands are just as bad.
They
But
are because they go the opposite way with it. That's what happens. It's almost like politics, not to go down this rabbit hole, but like it's like there's two sides and you choose a side and you just ride that shit into the ground. And I hate it. I want nothing to do with it.
yep,
Keep it
yep.
away.
Oh, that's just life in general these days. There's no gray area anymore. But like you said, not to go down that rabbit hole.
I mean, we already did. We here. Chris Paul.
uh,
Let's talk about Chris
Chris
Paul.
Paul.
All right, the timing of the pivot episode, him showing love to the city of New Orleans, which I assumed people already knew kind of what was happening back then.
I
But
didn't know that.
I loved the I just caught what we were doing. Um, but no, the timing of the episode is very interesting now. With it coming out a day before that the announcement comes out that you know, he's being waived or released. I don't know if he's officially been waived yet. I thought I saw a post that they were talking about waiving him after the fact. So I'm like, okay, is he a
Yes,
free agent? No.
they said they were looking at all the options now, like a trade and whatever. Which, if it comes down to that, like I don't think there's any. I think the chances of him coming here are kind of slim to begin. Like there's always the chance, right? Just because of the way he talks about us. But I think if it's a trade, I don't think we have any chance. I don't know that we would want to really trade anything for him,
Yeah, I
and
kind
that
of agree.
salary's got to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm not trading for the salary. That's what kills me. Now the cap is about to go up, but we have a lot of guys in house we're gonna have to take care of. You know,
And is
specifically.
that where you want like I'm here for the reunion, but is that where you want to spend your
No,
like big money? Right.
no, not at all. Not at all. I was just making the point that like the cap's gonna go up, so you have the space if you want it. I don't think I would make that move. You know, you're gonna have Trey to pay. You got some decisions to make. Herb, all the young guys, right? Everybody coming up, you're gonna have to give them something. Um, yeah, I think that for me, the perfect situation is, you know, he gets waived, he becomes a free agent, and then he can choose where he goes, and maybe he gives a team friendly deal. Now he's still probably gonna get paid because he's probably gonna negotiate as if, hey, the cap's going up, like I need to get paid. Um, but if he did come here, you know, it's interesting. I think that him and a guy like if Zion's healthy, him and a guy like Zion on the court together, him and anybody really on the court together is like phenomenal. Like he is the perfect point guard. He is literally what you want in a point guard. Now, does he stay healthy? There's all these questions you have. Um, but man, I'd love it. It'd be a great story. I don't think it happens, but it'd be a lot of
I don't
fun.
I don't think so either. But wasn't I mean when he was before he went to Phoenix, he talked to us.
Hmm.
Like he had conversations with us, so it's not like there's nothing there. Now, like some things have happened on the court between our players and him, since then.
Yeah,
But I mean,
that was my first
I
thought.
feel
I
like,
didn't bring that up.
well, listen, if they were willing to already do it with BI on the roster, considering like what they did on the court, like I don't think anything
Didn't Bi
between.
punch him in the face?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they're willing to bring him in there, like you kind of just move past it, I guess. But I mean, let's be honest, BI is gonna play like 40% of the games anyway. Chris Paul play the other like 60, whatever it is. Nobody's ever gonna be on the court at the same time. So
Well, no, the great thing is Chris Paul will be on the court like on and off throughout the season, and then you'll think he's going to be healthy at the start of the playoffs, and he'll get you like into maybe the Western Conference Finals, and then he like breaks a rib or something, and that's it. That's
but you
that.
know what? I'm okay with that. Like you get me to the Western Conference Finals
Yeah,
right now, I'm like, cool.
yeah. I mean, you like, uh, that's a whole nother discussion. And I do want to get back to like a Chris Paul question, but kind of diving into that for a second. Like in my head, in this year, our expectations should have been, okay, how do we get to the finals? But now, because of last year and the injuries and all that, I'm like, okay, how the fuck do we just get out of the first round? Can we just get in the first round without being a play-in team and then get out of the first round? Like, granted, the talent on the team, I think you want more than that. But man, I'm so desperate for a winner, just in any capacity. Like, give me something. Give me something.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, I don't know. I don't like. It's like the complete opposite of going in the last year.
Hmm.
Like, I was so excited, and this year I'm like, I don't even know how to feel. Like,
Yeah.
but it's the same team almost, right? Like, there might be a couple guys like Jax might be gone, but it's gonna be the same core. And you assume that the younger guys get better. Like, the team should be better, but I'm still like, I don't know, man. Like, I just gotta see it now.
There are
Like,
rumblings that somebody gets moved. I keep seeing that. I keep hearing that.
yeah,
That one of the main pieces gets moved. I don't know what that means. Um,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it feels like I don't know. What do you think? Like, do you think it's a good enough? Like, does the roster need to change?
it's
Because
such a
part of me,
tough question because there's people out there that will argue, they'll like bang on the table like absolutely the roster needs to change because you're not winning, and they're not wrong. Um, and then like it goes into the whole other discussion. Like I have people randomly texting me. They're like, "Hey, would you trade Zion for shit? What's the guy from Oklahoma City, the rookie last year that broke his foot? Can't think of his name
Chet,
right now. Yeah, Chet. Um, they're like, "Hey, would you trade him for Chet and Oklahoma City's first round pick?" And I instantly was like, "Hell no." So there's people out there that are like, "Listen, Zion hasn't played. You're in this situation where you're not winning. Like you have to make moves." And in my head, I'm like I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, man, this team could be so good, and I'm holding on to that potential. I'm just holding on to it, and I know that that's probably not the right move, but it's just where my heart is, and I can't get past it. So I'm just kind
yeah,
of sitting back and I'm just waiting, and I'm just like, whatever happens, happens. I think, I think they probably trade someone from the starting lineup. Like that's what I keep hearing. I think that ends up
feels
being Jonas.
JV.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love Jonas, but if I had to guess, I'm thinking Jonas. And then they try to find
I
another big to plug in
was
there.
about to say, but that like if you don't find another big, you have a major hole, a
Well,
major
they're
hole.
they're looking at bigs in the draft supposedly. Like they've
Yeah.
looked at a few. So
Well, that's the two things. That's like a real big is probably what they need number one, and then I'd say like a true point guard is like number two.
for sure.
But but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Also, I'm at a point too. We just dive into this conversation. I'm at a point too where I'm ready for CJ to move to the bench. Like I love a lot of things about CJ, but I also dislike a lot of things about CJ right now. And I think that he's better suited for our bench. I think we need a point guard. Um, and I don't think you take anybody else out of the starting lineup to put a point guard in other than CJ. Just my thoughts.
for me for me it's trying to find a way to get Trey into the starting lineup.
Yeah. But then who's your
Now
point guard? If you just run with the
that's
roster the way it is right now,
yeah, that's right now CJ has to start. Like who are you taking him out in favor of? Like ideally you would have thought maybe Dyson would have been the guy, but
yeah.
you can't do that yet. Um, like maybe Jose, but I think he has to be a bench guy. I like him more as a bench guy. Um, it's tough, man. Like he has to start right now. Now, if you go get Chris Paul, then I've seen people say Chris will come off the bench. Ain't no way. He's he is the point guard, and you try to move CJ to the bench.
Yeah.
If you can if you can have a starting five of CP, Trey, Herb, Bi, some combination of that, like give it to me.
Yeah.
I think if you, I would love a way to find to get Trey into the starting lineup with Zion because
Yeah.
the open looks that just get generated there are crazy.
I think going back to, and this will kind of transfer back into the CP conversation. If your choice is between CP and CJ. Like if CP for whatever reason wants to come here, and your choice is between CP and CJ as starters, like it's definitely Chris Paul. And if CJ doesn't
At
want to go
least
to the
to,
bench,
I
bye.
think we say that. I think there's probably a large group of people that still would say CJ. Um, but
I
I mean,
think
you know how I feel about CJ.
I think fit wise, yeah, and I kind of feel the same way. Like you're not wrong as far as him being a ball stopper and like, and maybe I'm putting words in your mouth, but as far as him being a ball stopper and kind of like slowing down the offense in times when he shouldn't, um,
Mm-hmm.
taking or forcing shots that maybe he shouldn't. Now there's arguments against that in other areas, whatever. Um, Chris Paul is a true point guard. He's going to move the ball around. He's going to get guys open looks. He's going to set people up. CJ's not doing that. He's not.
Then
I
does
don't
that?
mind.
But does that help CJ? If you get Chris Paul and let CJ play on side of him, then maybe CJ doesn't have to go to
I
the
I
bench.
think I think it does, but I think no, I think you move CJ. CJ becomes your sixth man instantly. Go get yours, buddy. Go
Well,
be the scorer
and
off the bench.
when we say take him out of starting lineup, we're not even necessarily saying reduce his minutes,
Right.
right? Like maybe like they go down a little bit just naturally, but like yeah, still play him whatever minutes you need to play him.
You know what gets really interesting there is, and it kind of goes back to the Chris Paul conversation, which I'll get into, and I keep saying that, but if CJ goes to the bench, then what happens to Jose? You're not going to play Jose and CJ together that often. Like it changes a lot of the dynamics. So it's just figuring all that out. I'm not jealous, and this is all hypothetical because Chris Paul's not coming here, but I'm not jealous of the coaching staff and what they have to figure out even now with this team
It's
moving
just
forward.
the toughest thing with this team, and then we can talk about whatever Chris Paul question you want to talk about. There's just so many players, specifically in the starting lineup, that just do not do the same thing because like Zion doesn't do the same thing as Bi skill wise, but they all like the ball stops a lot.
Hmm.
What gets into Bi's hands is dribble around into a tough mid range, get into CJ's hand, dribble around into a tough mid. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Zion's a little different because he's attacking, but there's so many guys where it's like it's not like it's no ball movement, right? There's
Right.
so many ball stoppers, and I don't know if it's just a product of them not actually play because when they played together, it looked great.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just like when one guy goes down, Bi feels like he has to do this. CJ plays that hero ball way too often when it's just him. I don't know. It's a lot of guys that just don't seem to fit to me because they just all do the same thing.
Yeah. It's not a lot of movement. It was hard to watch last year. I mean, we all saw it. I'm interested to see what they do. But going back to the Chris Paul thing, and we can put a bow on all this basketball conversation in general. Um, I guess my question was, because we were talking about does he come here? Where do you think he ends up? I mean, I have a thought, but like, where's he go?
Um, I don't think I don't this like here isn't the favorite to me. Like I don't think it's out of the like I think he has a conversation with us,
Hmm.
you know. But if I had to pick, like the Lakers feels like such an obvious choice. Like I feel like him and LeBron have tried to pull that off so often. Um, maybe what about Dallas? Like what if Dallas signs Kyrie back and you got CP and Kyrie? But I
Yeah.
mean that's a weird combination with I have a hard time with Dallas for any free agent because of Luca. Like it's hard to fit somebody with Luca to me. I don't know. Like you can make it work because he's so good, but we've had this conversation before. His play style doesn't seem to complement a lot of players, and I don't know if Chris Paul's the guy, but I mean maybe he could come in. Maybe that is a place he's willing to come off the bench.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think if there's any one guy that can complement literally any player in the league, is Chris Paul. Now there's an ops there's a yin and a yang there, right? Like he can complement and he's going to bring the best out of someone, but at the same time, I think if you look at everywhere he's gone, he's he's kind of like he wants to win so bad and he's so competitive that he's kind of like a gnat, if that makes sense. Like you can tell he rubs a lot of his teammates the wrong way, and guys just like either take to him or they don't. And you saw it, you saw with the Clippers at first, like him and Blake Griffin, there was reports they didn't get along. That team ends up blowing up. He goes down to, was he in Houston next? Yeah, he goes down to Houston. Him and Harden kind of had a falling out. Like it just everywhere he goes, it seems like there's some type of falling out. I don't know what happened in Phoenix. Um, I think it's more between like Monty and fucking Aiton. But I don't know. Like, is Chris Paul somewhat to blame there too? Is there stuff happening behind the scenes that's kind of killing the culture? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just always curious about that kind of stuff because it seems like everywhere he's been, other than OKC, which he was only there for like a year, right? It just seems a little off after a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a contender, right? Like, there's no way he goes to, like, he doesn't follow Monty to Detroit. Like, he's not at that stage of his career yet, right? Where he is just ready to groom like
Who
somebody.
who knows? I thought when he went to OKC that his career was over, basically. I was like, yeah, he's
Yeah,
on his
that's
way
true.
out, and then he drags him to the playoffs with Shea
I,
and others. Um,
I've seen people float like a Boston trade where Boston would trade Marcus Smart for him. Like, maybe that gets them over the hump. I don't know.
yeah,
Um, what about like Milwaukee? Well, no, they just got Brogdon, so that
yeah.
that doesn't really work. Miami, like, you go play with Jimmy Butler in Miami. He's an upgrade over Kyle Lowry, but they're not. I mean, how much of an upgrade?
Is he? Yeah, I was about to say, is he at this point? Like he is. He's a different style for sure.
Mhm.
I don't know, man.
I feel like it's got to be a team that's close.
Yeah.
And then if it's us, it's just because it's home. Like, we're a
Well,
good
it's
team. Don't get me wrong, but I feel
listen,
like
there's a lot good. If I'm Chris Paul and I'm looking at New Orleans, if what he said is true in that pivot interview, he's got a connection to the city first and foremost. The team's got a lot of talent. If they're not losing any talent to bring him on, he's probably excited about that. Willie Green and him played together. Willie Green coached him. Like there's a lot of connections here. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be crazy, but I just don't think like I think if he's got the opportunity to go to like LA, he's going to LA. That's just where my
that's it.
head's
I mean,
at.
they have to be the favorite. They have to be.
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of money they got, but somehow the Lakers get whatever the Lakers want. So
they do. They
we
always get
wrap.
what they want. Somehow they turn the bottom feeder team into a fucking Western Conference Finals team. So
Yeah.
there you
Well,
go.
that's enough basketball talk.
Yeah, it's the off season, right?
Right.
Not yet. Not yet. They're still playing. Was that game tonight? You got Denver up.
The
What is it? 2-1 right now?
No, that was last night. It rotates days. It's like Stanley Cup, NBA, Stanley Cup, NBA.
Yeah. You got Denver up
But
2-1. Well, speaking of, we could talk about the Stanley Cup. Let's do that. Let's do
I
that.
just I wanna hear you watched the entire game, right?
I
Pretty much.
watched the entire game for the
I
first
just want
time for the first time in my life. I watched an entire hockey game, and let me tell you this, my team won. They won.
yeah.
You're welcome, Florida Panthers fans. You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't really care that much like about what happened in the game because I've been saying for since game one it's gonna be a long series. I got people at work that like hockey. They're like, "Oh, Vegas is going to sweep." I'm like, "They're just not. Like, just not going to happen." I'm also
Yeah.
more of a like a pessimistic fan when my teams are in these things. But I'm more so interested in like your experience watching hockey. I was hoping we get to do it in person tonight and sit there and watch
Yeah.
the end of it together, and
I,
it kind of ruined it. But
I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to give my thoughts because man, I tell you this, it was I've watched hockey before. Like I haven't watched whole games, but I've watched hockey before. I've watched, I've tried to get into it. I picked random teams years ago, and I watched like regular season hockey for like 10 minutes here and there. I was trying to be an Ovechkin fan years ago. Just never worked out. Um, yeah, tonight was a lot of fun, man. It's fast. That was the first take. Like just watching it. Like I'm watching, I'm like, okay, like strategy wise or like the feel wise of me just watching as a casual fan, I was like, okay, this reminds me of soccer, but it's fast and it's physical, which makes it
mm-hmm.
fun. Like that's the first thing that jumped out. I know you mentioned like maybe it was you. You said the first time you watched it was hard to follow the puck. I don't have that problem. Not a problem following the puck, but a lot of things taken away from it though. Like it's fast. There's some areas I feel like they could improve. First of all, the first game I tried to watch was on True TV. What are we doing? This is the championship of your sport, and you're on True TV. Like, how are we disrespected like that? Um, that was another thought I had. I think hockey is one of the most disrespected of the major sports in America. I know baseball is falling off, but man, hockey is like it's so much fun. Um, it's physical. I don't understand like I don't understand why people get put in the penalty box so much. Like that kind of caught me off guard. I think I was texting you. I was like, I thought that like this happened like once or twice a game because somebody was being naughty. Um, like people are just accidentally tripping people. They're like, nope, you're going in the box 2 minutes. Now they have a power play.
Yeah,
Fuck you. Good
that
luck.
one that was a bad example too, because that wasn't like the one at the end shouldn't have been a
Yeah.
penalty. But yeah, I told you I don't. That felt like more penalties than like maybe that's not more than usual, but it just felt like it. Especially like this series we've had now. This series has been kind of rough as far as penalties go. But there's been like major penalties, like guys are getting 10-minute misconducts for all from for doing different shit, and but the games haven't felt as clunky. This one was kind of clunky. Like it felt like they were stopping for a penalty every 5 minutes.
It felt very weird. And
But like you said, go ahead.
at one point I was like, man, that like I feel like the Panthers are committing a lot of penalties. Like I feel like I feel like the Knights are just getting so many power plays and like it's just this is killing me. Like what's happening here? And then at the end of the game, they're like, yeah, like they had 5 power plays and the other team had power plays and they just converted more. And I was like, what? That was actually what happened. Like in my head, I was like, that did not play out like that. So I don't know. It was weird. It was wonky.
Yeah, so this is apparently how people expected this series to go more, like the games like this. Because I was reading some stuff, which I didn't know. Florida was the most penalized team in the regular season. Vegas was the least.
Yeah.
So kind of just
No,
happens. But
I saw that stat too. I wonder if that's before the playoffs because there's no way the team that's the most penalized
yeah, yeah, they
is going
said
to
they
make
said
it.
regular season. Yeah, they
Yeah.
said regular season.
Okay. I was just curious.
Um,
Like it wouldn't make sense to me.
but going back to like just enjoying it, I kind of feel like it's a mixture of like all the other sports except for baseball. Like it's got the up and down like basketball. It's got like the moving the ball around strategy of soccer.
Yeah.
It's got honestly at this point, it's almost got harder hits than football. Like so it's got the physicality of football. It's just like just watching it, like we talked about it, you can start to appreciate like the difficulty of it, and you're like, man, like there's no breaks. Like they just keep going. It's fun. I I don't know, man. Even watching like I've enjoyed watching bad hockey teams. Like the game is just fun to watch.
Yeah. One of my favorite, and I don't know if it's just because this is the Stanley Cup Finals. Is that even how you say it? Let me be a hockey fan for a second. Let me actually become a hockey fan. How do I call this? Is it the finals? Is it the Stanley Cup Finals? I don't know shit about this.
Stanley Cup Finals.
Okay, it's not just the Stanley Cup. Cool.
Yeah, well, you can call it Stanley Cup as long as you say Stanley Cup. I feel like you can't just say Finals.
Okay, because that's like an NBA
Maybe,
thing.
maybe like only, maybe like hockey only city or like where hockey is like the sport. Maybe they just say Finals.
Right.
But
Like
I feel like if you just
Montreal,
say Finals,
Quebec.
I feel like if you just say Finals, people think basketball.
I
I don't
feel
know for sure, but I feel like hockey fans would be disrespected by that.
well, I hope not, because
And the
there's a
Stanley,
lot of
like the
them.
Stanley Cup is probably like we may not think of it, but it seems like one of the more prestigious
Well,
trophies like in sports.
I actually have thought of it like that. Like all along, even with me not watching hockey, I always looked at it because I knew some hockey guys, always looked at it as like just a very serious thing, like kind of like the Lombardi,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I know the Bill
Yeah.
O'Brien and NBA, like people love it, but and it's iconic, but like it's not as like the Lombardi is that like gritty, like you think of Lombardi, right? And when I've always thought of the Stanley Cup, I kind of thought of it very in a similar vein, I guess. And I don't know if that's just the essence of hockey, but I always look at it that way. But no, like you know what I love? Like watching this game, and I was saying, I don't know if it's because it's the Stanley Cup Finals, but like the excitement from the fans, just the energy in the arena, and how like the game will just be going on, and like all of a sudden in the corner, like these two dudes are just casually fighting, and nobody's even acknowledging it. It's just happening, and it's just like, okay, yeah, there's a game going on. These dudes are fighting, and we'll pull them apart in a second. But like all of it is just like insane. I do have one critique, other than the true TV thing. Um, when you score a goal, because I had that soccer feel, I wanted something else. Like I love the horn, I love the play a fun song, that's fun too. I need a Canadian just like screaming something. Like how boot that fucking goal, eh? You know what I mean? Like just scream it.
So,
Like
oh man, I wish I had like clips of this to send you. Yeah, I tell you all the time. I watch the Levitard show, right? And they had like, I guess he's the Panthers. Like, I don't know if he's the TV play announcer or the radio guy, but every time Florida scores a goal, he's like, "Goal!" and then he like throws a quote out from a random movie. Like, uh,
I knew
fuck,
I
I
was
wish I
meant to
remembered
be
more.
I knew I was meant to
Dude,
be a
I'm telling
Panthers
you,
fan.
and I honestly, I wanted to send you. I've wanted to send it to you for a week now because they've been talking about it and just like playing clips, and I'm gonna do it. I've been waiting for them to put clips out of it so I can send it to you. But if not, I'll just go record it and send it to you. You would love it. I'm telling you, it's so much. It's so fun. But that's what you get. If you listen to him, you'll get what you want.
I need it. I'm moving to Miami. I'm gonna listen to Panthers radio from now on.
You can
This
go
is
to
my
my.
team. This is my sport. I'm in.
There you go.
Tattoo
I told you,
incoming.
it's
No,
fun.
it's not happening.
Miami's a Miami's a place to be right now, right?
Yeah,
That
maybe.
Miami's
Both.
about to put MLS on the map.
Well, oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, I thought you were talking about just because of the championship, series right now. I didn't even notice the hat. Um,
Nobody knows what it is.
yeah, it's just an M to me. I was like, okay, cool. It's a
Yeah,
cute little swirly M. Why don't you
supposed to be like flamingos.
tell us what hat you're wearing? What is that?
It's the Inter Miami hat for where Lionel Messi's future team, or I guess current team. I'm
Her.
very good. Look, as little as I know about hockey, I know even less about how soccer works. Like apparently he could just join mid-season. I don't know.
Yeah. So I understand I understand the sport of soccer, but the
Yeah,
different leagues and all that, like if we're talking anything outside of Premier League, like I don't know anything. I don't even know MLS and I don't even watch Premier League, but I at least understand like how certain things work. But like you got
yeah.
me.
Like
I got nothing.
I understand the rules of soccer more than I understood the rules. Like so now I'm obviously going to want to watch more soccer games, right? Because my team has Messi. But I so if this is the year I get into soccer, I guess you could say, which I always watch World Cup and the big
Hmm.
games, right?
Hmm.
But if this is the year I get into MLS, going into it, I understand more about soccer than I understood about hockey when I started getting into hockey. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough to get because so that World Cup game, that was the first game I watched, the actual championship game, and I thought every Premier League game was gonna be like that. It's not the case. It's
No,
just not
it's
that fun.
definitely not like that. It's a lot
But
slower.
is it gonna be Messi just embarrassing all these MLS players? Because if so, I'm down for that.
It it might be, to be honest with you. It very well may be. The talent, Messi's not that old. Like Messi's old, but Messi hasn't fallen off that much yet to where he's gonna
he
come into
was
MLS
he was
and not
still the best
perform.
player in the world,
Yeah, and now
best or
he's
second best, him or Mbappe. Like he showed it in that game.
and listen, I don't mean to shit on the MLS, but like it's just not at the level of any of these other premier and not to like call out the Premier League, but these other Premier Leagues, whichever one you're talking about around the world, like Messi could go dominate any of them, and those leagues are all better than the MLS. So it's I'm very intrigued to see how this turns out.
Yeah, more so, but like even more than just Miami. Like this is huge for American soccer. Like
It
people
is.
are going to care about MLS now,
Hmm. It is. It
which is awesome because I I enjoy soccer. I don't watch it that often because I just don't have a team. I can't. And we've talked about before. I'm not waking up that early to watch
yeah,
the Premier League on a
that's my
Saturday,
thing.
right?
I'm not
And
waking
the
up at
MLS just
7
isn't.
a.m. to go drive to a bar
Yeah,
and watch, or I guess at home, but still, like,
yeah. And the MLS just isn't good enough. Like most of the really, really good American players go play in the Premier League. So like you can't even watch like Pulisic in the
mhm.
MLS or anything like that. But yeah, like if they can make MLS watchable, because now that like there's rumors that Ronaldo is going to try and come next year to a team, dude, bring them all. Like
Give me,
hell yeah,
give me all the old guys that are fading
just
out but are still dominating
just
instead
please don't
of.
put the games at 9 a.m.
I don't think they will. It's in America,
I
like,
don't
and
think
it's
so
for
either.
and it's for Americans, I would assume. Um, No, I mean, listen, for years, there's always been major players that have come over to MLS, but they always come over way past their prime.
Well, that's
So
yeah.
for
Beckham is the
yeah,
best example of
well,
it.
Beckham and oh, fuck, I can't. I'm just like blanking on guys' names.
Zlatan.
Zlatan, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Ibrahimovic,
Yeah.
who was still like he dominated for the couple games he played. I don't think he played a
Hmm.
full season, but he dominated. Like if any of these guys come over and they're still in their prime, like goodness gracious, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, we've talked hockey,
I was gonna say,
soccer.
did you
Look at
expect
us.
this? Did you expect the
The
hockey and the
range.
soccer talk? This
The
is
range.
yeah.
I have no idea how long we've been going because this we were on here for 20 minutes beforehand. But I so this is not sports related. You want this topic? Because I experienced
Yeah,
something for the
let's
first time the other day.
tell me, hit me with it.
All right. Have you ever experienced sleep paralysis?
Um, I don't think so.
So
Is it
it
like, tell me more.
so it's when you like the technical because I looked it up. Um Technically it's like you like wake up. It's basically waking up before your body is out of like whatever, like you know how there's REM sleep or whatever it is.
Hmm.
Your body, you wake up before your body does, essentially, is what it is. And it happened to me the other day. Hypothetically, I was at work and we got like one of those gravity chairs. You know what
Hmm.
I'm talking about? That lay all the way back. And I'm laying in it and I woke up. I opened my eyes. Like I was awake. I could tell everything that was going on around me, but I couldn't move. Like literally, it felt like there was 1,000 pounds on my body, and it's only for like 30 seconds, but it felt like there was like 1,000 pounds on my body and I could not move. Like I was trying to lift my arms, couldn't lift my arms up. I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't sit up. And dude, it was terrifying. Like, because like I'm just thinking, like, what if something was actually happening? Like, what if something was happening and I had
Yeah.
to go? Like, I had to get up. I couldn't.
Yeah, because
And it just, I guess,
hypothetically, your job is pretty serious if like you have to get up and go.
yeah. So I'm like, it was terrifying, and I don't want to ever experience that again.
You,
Like
you,
it doesn't last long, but I'm like, dude, just imagine somebody just holding you down, and or you're just like stuck in cement and you can't move. And I'm on top of that, I'm claustrophobic, like extremely claustrophobic. So it's almost like I'm stuck in something, and I'm like, this is my nightmare.
I want to, as we're talking about this, I had a thought and I Googled something real quick and I want to do a callback to our last episode where we talked about ghosts and if you believe in ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts, Dave?
I do. I told you.
Yeah,
Listen.
I know. I know you do. The reason I'm asking is I quickly Googled it. Sleep paralysis is actually widely considered the work of demons. And there's specifically incubi, I think is what it's called. And they're said to sit on the chest of sleepers.
But like
I'm
I was
I'm
cool with
just
the ghost.
saying.
I don't understand. Like we're pals, I thought. I
Yeah.
don't
No,
know, you know?
you acknowledge their existence and now they're coming for you. That's what happened.
Is that not enough? I
I don't
felt like I
know.
showed them respect.
I don't know. Maybe somebody was
Yeah,
just
man.
listen, if it's anything like the real world, somebody's disrespected by everything you say. So
This is true.
you're screwed.
Listen, whatever was sitting on my chest, please don't ever do it again. Yeah, man, that was kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I was like, what if Patty's ever been through this?
I haven't, but I'll tell you the scariest thing sleep-wise that's ever happened to me. I don't know if your kid, I'm going to talk about my kid for a second here, my daughter, not my son, but my daughter. But she in the middle of the night one night like woke up and looked me right in the face and was like whining, but not crying. She's like, "I want you, blah blah blah, daddy, daddy." And I'm like, "I'm right here." And she like started screaming and crying and she's like, "Come to me, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Baby, I'm right here." And she was like freaking out. Um, and then like it went away, and then she like woke up and did it again, and like nothing was wrong with her. And it was just like it was almost like she didn't realize that I was there, but she was
Mm,
like screaming for me and like freaking out. Um, and I looked it up, and apparently it happens when like kids are like super tired, like overly tired, and like if they don't get a nap during
mhm.
the day or something like that, like they can wake up. And I forget what it was called. It's basically a form of sleep paralysis or like sleepwalking. Um, It was scary. It was weird.
My brother has woken up from a dead, not even like woken up, like he sat up in a dead sleep and just did like a maniacal laugh before and just went back to sleep. So that's happened. I've
Yeah.
also had a cousin. I had a cousin that slept walk out of the house, like woke up, opened the doors, and went outside as like a teenager. So that's kind of I I don't know, man. I'm not ready for I'm not ready for my kids to start sleepwalking or anything like that.
I
I
don't
don't
I
know that I
don't
can handle that.
I don't know that that's normal. Like people don't just sleepwalk. Like some people do, but it's not the norm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, so you're right. It's got. I mean, I don't know what the statistics are, but I know less people that sleepwalk than don't. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there's so many people in my family that have or do things in their sleep. I'm like, oh, it's just gonna carry over to my son.
It might. Is it
I hope not.
hereditary? Is sleepwalking a hereditary thing? We need to get a scientist on here and talk about that next week.
Put it on the put it on the polls.
Is that what people
Neil
want to hear about?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, if you're out there, I don't know if he's that kind of
Oh
scientist.
man. What
uh,
I have so much stuff written down. I have no idea how long we've been talking. We could keep going, but I feel like it's been a minute.
I got I got nowhere to be.
Yeah, I don't want to put out a 2 hour episode again. Um,
Nah, we can
feature
clip it
length
down if
films
we
over
have to.
here.
We're good, man.
All right. Fun question. Who's got the best French fries? We may have talked about this before.
Are we doing
We
so
might have like,
fast food wise?
oh, absolutely talking fast food. You could, well, just restaurants in general. I'm assuming we're gonna go fast food with this, but like
Yeah, I
you could,
think it's always fast food. Um, hmm. I think I'm gonna say rallies.
yeah,
I think so. I think it's rallies.
yeah,
It would have if you'd have asked me like 3, 4 years ago, I probably would have said McDonald's when I was eating McDonald's a lot.
yeah.
Not that I really eat rally. I can't even tell you last time I had rallies. But I buy the rallies fries from like Winn Dixie and cook them at home. And I think it's like take it back. Five Guys.
There you go.
Five
Now,
Guys Cajun fries.
now we're in line.
Yeah.
Because
As soon
I
as
was
I
gonna
started
drop that on you. I was like, I can't believe he
as
didn't go
soon
with
as I
Five
started
Guys.
talking about the seasoning, I was like, nope. Five
Yeah,
Guys.
yeah. It's Five Guys all day. So we don't even have to go any deeper into this.
Smalls sliders is a sleeper pick. I know you said you haven't had it yet,
Mm-mm.
but imagine like Chick-fil-A waffle fries, but with like the Cajun seasoning on it. That's essentially what it is.
But here's my thing. So we do defer a little bit. I don't like the Cajun seasoning. I don't want the Cajun seasoning Five Guys fries. I
Oh,
want the regular.
you get regular Five Guys
Yeah, I want the
fries?
regular. I want the
Hmm.
boardwalk style regular ass fries. And it's
Okay.
because um I used to vacation in Maryland randomly, like 2 or 3 years in a row. And we would go to the Ocean City Boardwalk. And on the
Hmm.
boardwalk, they have what they call boardwalk style fries. And I don't know if this originated there, if it's just a thing they do. I don't know. But Five Guys makes the same kind of fries, and it's their regular fries that they make. Man,
Hmm.
something about them. The oil and vinegar. I don't get the oil and vinegar on them, but like people love it. It's so good.
Yeah. Five Guys. Rallies are probably my second. Arby's has good fries too.
I do love the Arby's waffle fries or curly fries. Curly fries.
Curly fries. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Those are solid.
Wendy's did for a minute and then they changed it up. Not so much anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any others that are calling to me. That's it. I just wanted to talk about Five Guys fries, I think. That's what was top of mind.
Yeah, I think Five Guys is my answer too. Although we that's a whole other discussion that we've had before is Five Guys fast food.
Yeah.
But that's why you clarified, isn't it? That it didn't that it didn't have to be fast food.
It's 100% why I clarified. Because if we're just talking drive-through fries, I don't know, man. It's hard. That's a hard choice. It's a very hard choice. Um, Maybe Popeyes. I'll throw that out there.
I don't ever get Popeyes fries. Is that what you get as a side from Popeyes? You get the fries?
I used to. I
I go
don't know.
mashed potatoes.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, I prefer if I'm going fries versus mashed potatoes, I'm going fries
I
for
do
sure.
like their fries, but I like their mashed potatoes too. Sometimes I just have like a weird craving for mashed potatoes, I guess.
Yeah. And that's another question, I guess. Like what is the GOAT or what is the best Popeyes side? If you had to pick like two, because you already said mashed potatoes, obviously, but what's another one?
Do they still have their mac and cheese? because I used to like their
They
mac and
they
cheese.
used to. I haven't been in
Their
a long
beans are
time.
their beans are solid.
There you go.
I think it'd be mac and cheese. I mean,
Does
beans and whatever,
does the
or mashed
biscuit
potatoes.
count as a side?
No, no, because you get it in every order.
Okay, that's what I wanted to
That's my
confirm that.
that's my thought is because you get it with everything.
Yeah.
No,
So it's a given that the biscuit is probably the best, but we're gonna leave that out of it
it's
because it's already
it's the
given.
meal. It comes. It's just with the meal. Yeah.
Gotcha. Then I'm going red beans for sure. I think red beans is my number one. I love the red beans. Can't go wrong. I mean, they're I don't know if they're even red beans. I don't know what's in them, but there's something about that flavor. They're just phenomenal. The red beans and then the fries.
Yeah.
It's my go-to.
It's close between fries and mashed potatoes for me. I just always go mashed potatoes
Yeah.
because I feel like I can always have fries.
I mean, you
So I'll
can.
go to.
It's your
I mean,
life.
I can also always have mashed potatoes, but I don't know. I like the mashed potatoes. It's just that easy. That's simple for me.
There you go. I don't have anything else fun to talk about. I mean, I do, but it doesn't fit with the scheme we've already fallen into. We could just keep going on random
What's
tangents and talking about random shit.
I was gonna say what scheme because we went from from
Sports
basketball to hockey to soccer.
to potatoes.
Yeah, the potatoes.
Potatoes. Which we forgot. We had the official podcast of coffee free agents everywhere. In case anyone's wondering. Yeah, we will work
We'll
for
work for
coffee.
coffee.
More to
We
come on
got
that.
we got something coming soon.
Yeah. Um, is there anything when you were younger that you look back at and you cringe? Outfits, music you liked, um,
That I did,
yeah,
or just like
girlfriends you
society.
dated, anything like something about you as a kid that you're just like,
I
oh, I
went
can't believe I did that.
I went through a Justin Bieber hair phase. Like when he had his long hair, I had some super.
Oh,
I have to show you a picture of that. I
you
had
had
like really long hair.
the ramen
Oh, dude,
noodle.
I
Was it
had down to my
curly?
shoulders. Oh no, my hair was down to my shoulders, like dead straight.
Okay.
And then I played baseball at the time,
Oh,
and my
Justin
baseball
Bieber.
when we would yeah
Uh,
when my baseball would or when my baseball team would get to like state my travel team,
mhm,
everybody would dye their hair, so I had
mm.
highlights for a minute. So not proud of that, but it's a minute. It's a portion of my life. We accept it. We move on.
That's a baseball thing. The dyed hair thing. That is 100% a baseball thing. Our whole baseball team did that. Did you ever do the sun in as a kid?
The what?
Sun in? Have you ever heard of that?
No, what is that? I
No,
might know
forget.
what it is and not know what it.
It's probably like a early 2000s thing. When I was like a young teenager, or not even a teenager yet, there was this spray that was called Sun In. And if you sprayed it in your hair and then went out in the sun, it was supposed to like lighten your hair. So like a lot of my friends did that. And it ended up
Never.
giving you this ugly orange look. It was the ugliest thing ever. And then other people would like pour like peroxide on their hair. Listen, we were dumb as kids. Everybody wanted the
Yeah.
blonde, like
Yep.
Eminem or like, whatever, like Justin Timberlake. That's what I thought you said a little while ago, by the way. Justin Timberlake hair, like everybody wanted that. Um, you know what I did? I have a few things. My whole childhood is probably like just
Yeah.
the
Say a
cringiest
few
thing.
because then it might make me think of a couple.
Um, During my baseball years, when people were dyeing their hair, my sister had this silver like tips. People used to frost their tips. And I wanted the bangs. Like I saw people like do their bangs, and for some reason when I was like 11, I wanted my bangs like frosted. But she had this silver stuff, so I just frosted the bangs, and my hair was straight as can be. So like I just had like brown hair, like all the way back with like a fade, and then silver tips just coming down to like here, like right here. And it was the ugliest thing in the world. Uh, but I did it and I rocked it. And I'll be damned if I didn't go 4 for 5 in that game and throw 7 strikeouts through 4 innings. Like
I'll say I'll say
killed it.
this: when I had my long hair, like girls used to love it because of how straight it was. I all the time they'd be like, "Do you straighten your hair?" I'm like, "No, I just kind of wake up and it's like this." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so jealous." Now I look back, I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
my little brother's kind of going through that phase right now because he's 14, 15, whatever he is. I'm like, dude, cut your hair. like, like I've been there. Just cut your hair so you don't regret this later in life. You're never gonna live these pictures down.
What, something else that makes me cringe that I look back at, but I'm gonna own the shit out of it right now. When I was in my early 20s, or maybe yeah, it was my early 20s. it was like it was famous stars and straps era. Like that was when the famous brand was like huge. And I used to rock famous everywhere. There's an old picture of me. I was about 320 pounds at the time. I was huge. Um, I used to shave my head. I had like skin head. Um, and I had these old like Oakley sunglasses on, and I have a pierced eyebrow, and I'm wearing a famous Stars and Straps
Oof,
shirt or stripes, strats. I
oof.
don't even remember. Um, yeah. And then aside from that, if we can just expound on that, like a year later, I had moved away from the famous thing, but I kept the eyebrow for some reason. And I had the Jersey Shore like spiked, like, oh my God, man.
But I
Yeah,
had a cousin, like a cousin that I'm super close with. Like everything he did, he's probably like 6, 7 years older than me. Like everything he did growing up, I wanted to do. And he went through a phase where he had the eyebrow piercing and he had a lip piercing. And like for years, I was like, oh, when I move out, I'm piercing my lip. I'm doing it. And
yeah.
then I finally moved out. I was like, no, we're not gonna do that.
You know what's funny? I pierced my eyebrow, and then like after like 7 or 8 months, I was like, this is stupid. Why do I have this? And I got rid of it because I realized I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. What makes this story great is about 4 or 5 months later, I was like, you know what? I want to pierce my eyebrow again. And I went back and I got the same damn eyebrow pierced. And I used to rock this black, like pointy stud thing. It was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life.
This makes me ask a question because you mentioned tattoos earlier. Do you regret any of your tattoos you have? I don't know how many you have total, but I'm wondering if you regret any of them because I don't know when you got them in life or anything about any of them. I can't even name one that you have. I just know you have a
Yeah.
few.
No, I don't regret any of them. My wife will tell you I should regret one of them. Because I only have two. I stopped because after that I told myself I was actually going to plan my tattoos. And then because I would plan things so intricately and I wouldn't want to sit in a chair for 9, 10 hours, I just never did it because I was like non-committal about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Because to this day I still want a three-quarter sleeve, and
So do
there's
I.
like certain
I
pieces that I'm
say
like,
it like once a month. I'm like, I need to get my sleeve done.
yeah. And I'm 35 now, and I've wanted this since I was like 21. So I just never did it. I told myself, oh, I'll start with something small. And I'm like, do I really want that though, or do I want something else? And I got to commit to this. And I just never did. But no, I have two. I have an Alice in Chains tattoo. People will make
And
fun of
that's
that.
it. I knew you told me one, and I couldn't remember what it was.
I grew up, Alice in Chains had such an impact on my life as a young teen. I was such an emotional. It was like before the emo stuff. It was like there was 90s grunge and like that 90s metal crap, and like not crap. I loved it. I got into that hardcore like Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, and then from there like I kind of just grew into like Rage Against the Machine, and then into like emo bands and like just all these other bands that were like just like those bands. Blink 182, like I love them all. The other tattoo I got, we had a scavenger hunt when I was 19 or 20, like 19, I think. I was like fresh out of high school by like a year or two. And it was the second year of this scavenger hunt. My team won the first year. And on the second year, I pulled up in my truck playing some Lil Wayne song. I don't remember what it was, but I made a belt that we all, like for th 3 or 4 of us, that we all got out wearing. And we're like, yeah, motherfucker, like we're the champs. Anyways, so we had to go hard that year. And on the list for the scavenger hunt, it was like, get a dumb tattoo. So I was the one that decided I was going to go get a tattoo, and I got a four-leaf clover on my leg.
Yeah, there
Now
you go.
the beauty of this four-leaf clover, and I know I'm like taking a long time to tell this story, is the bottom of it, and I didn't realize it at the time. The bottom of it, and I hate that I'm admitting this on camera, but it kind of looks like a penis. It looks like the tip of a penis. So my wife will tell you that I should regret that tattoo because it looks like I have a penis on my leg. Um, but I have no regrets.
uh, that's funny. Uh, no, I definitely don't think you should have any regrets about the Alice in Chains one. I've told you before that I've considered getting Mac tattoo, like something related to that, right? Because I mean, we've talked about music all the time. Like I understand the connection music can have with a person, like just with points in life or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, but part of me is asking because I put that tweet out that the next team of mine to win a championship, I would get the tattoo. And I'm debating whether I need to follow through with it if Vegas wins. Like if I did it, it would just be like the VGK logo, like right here or something like that. I love the team, but I'm like, I don't know.
You'd be one of those
I don't know how.
dumbasses with a
Like,
team logo. I'm sitting here calling you a dumbass because you'll get a team logo on you, and I've got a
right.
penis on my leg. But still, like,
It's also it's part of me is well. There's a couple things. So I have the one for my oldest son, and I got to get the same thing for the new baby. I
Mhm.
cannot get the Vegas tattoo before I get the baby's tattoo. Like that just can't happen. And then the other thing is, like, I've been a Saints fan my entire life, and I've wanted like a New Orleans themed sleeve tattoo.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can't just get the Vegas tattoo now. What I've been wanting the Saints tattoo forever.
I mean, you could.
Not necessarily the Saints tattoo, but the Saints would be included in the New Orleans tattoo some kind of way. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And also I've considered maybe getting the Vegas tattoo, like a little, making it not as obvious as like what it is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna follow through with it, to be honest with you. The fact that I'm questioning it at all is making me say no.
Yeah. I'm trying to think through it. Like, I don't know. For me, like right now, if I'm gonna commit to a tattoo, you know how my brain works now. I've grown so much from the age of 20 until now. Like everything I do is so methodical and like
Yeah.
uh
Well,
I'm the
that's
I'm the director of vibes for a reason, like there's
yeah.
a very like I don't
That's
know.
the everything. Like all the tattoos that I want have a lot of meaning to them, right? This one is would literally just be because they won a championship. I can't do it. Like they're my team. Like hockey's probably my second favorite sport now, or third because of baseball. But like I don't know. Like I don't have any connection to Vegas except for the team. So it's weird. It's a weird situation. Like if it were the Pels, I wouldn't even be questioning it. Like I'd be like, all right, I said I would do this. I love the Pels. My only holdup would be like, are the Pels always gonna be here? Or in like 10 years, is this gonna be like, who the fuck are the Pelicans?
It's throwback. It goes for
Yeah,
more in the black market. It's fine.
yeah. But
That's a dark
uh,
humor joke. You're welcome. Um, I don't have anything else, man. I was sitting here looking through like fun
we've had
facts,
to be
but
going for almost an hour now.
yeah, I don't want to share anything else. This episode was different anyway. We're at home. It's weird. Different vibe. We'll have more next week. Do you have anything you want to shout out?
Um, just check out the squeeze pod as always. Gonna promote that for a little while. Um, at that baseball pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It's at the Squeeze Pod on YouTube. That episode should also be coming out tomorrow, probably tomorrow night, because I think we're recording that tomorrow night. No idea what we're talking about. Um, anything? We got some maybe new stuff coming with the site this weekend if we can get some shit figured out. So stay tuned for that.
I'm excited about
Patty and
that.
I have some big things planned for the pod, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely do. I spent a lot of time on things for the site, so can't wait to release that, show everybody what we did. So I'm excited about that. Um, Outside of that, I think I just want to shout out Macho Man Randy Savage because he's a fucking legend.
Okay,
That's
cool with
it.
that. I'm cool with that.
That's it.
Ah,
Until next time, you can follow me at the Patty V.
at the Dave Rainey.
Follow us everywhere. At Be in the Know, at Who Effing Knows, at That Baseball Pod. Follow. I don't even remember what is it at Off the Dome. I don't remember what our other
Yeah,
pod
just
is.
go to we gotta do something. We gotta put out something that just has everybody like the know is just growing for people. We're kind of on like a little rocket ship right now. We I think we announced what's the fantasy guy? I'm forgetting his name already. Is it
Rob.
Rob? Yeah.
Rob.
So like it seems like we're adding a new person every week. So we need to just put something out with everybody's ads. So just like go to at be in the know and something will be there somewhere on the page with everybody's ads.
Yeah, or you know what you can do? Just as an early teaser here, you can go to theknow.com and then click on team, and you'll be able to
There
see
you go.
everybody and all their social handles. So go do that.
There you go. There's more of us than you know.
Yeah,
How
there
about that?
is. Um, Side note, this is also because I work in the tech industry. This is like the fifth rocket ship I've been on. So, you know, getting used to these rockets here. We'll blast off. We'll have a good time. Until next time, take care of yourselves, folks.